Okay, in this lesson, I want to show you one of my favorite chord substitution turnarounds. I always think of this as the Ray Bryant turnaround because I swiped it from the solo piano playing of the great jazz pianist Ray Bryant. Check him out if you're not aware of him. His album Alone with the Blues is a total classic, and he released several other solo piano records as well. And his trio stuff is super cool, and you can hear him on early records by Miles Davis. So obviously, a very cool guy. Anyway, this is the turnaround we're going to work on. It's got a really nice chord substitution move that uses both a 2 minor chord and a 2 dominant chord. Is that even possible? Let's find out. Okay, so usually the turnaround, if you're playing fingerstyle blues in E, you come up to the turnaround in measure 9, the beginning of the 3rd line. You usually go to a 5 chord, and then to the 4 chord. And then you come back around and maybe you do one of these, or one of these. But the idea is, it's usually 5, 4, 1. On a jazz blues, there's a tendency to use the sound of a 2 chord and then go to the 5 chord. So you never really get to the 4 chord in measure 10. So there's different ways you can do it. Sometimes people hang on the 2 chord for a whole bar and then go to the 5 for a whole bar. Sometimes it rocks back and forth from 2 to 5 in both measures. But what the Ray Bryant turnaround does is it starts off with rocking from 2 minor 7, F sharp minor 7, to the 5 for 1 beat, and then goes to C sharp 7, the 6th chord, which then takes you around to an F sharp 7 chord, an F sharp dominant chord, which you get for 2 beats, and then 2 beats of B7. So what's going on is you've got your usual 2 to 5, but then a quick 6 chord. This is the dominant 7 of the 2 chord. So from here on out, we're really doing 6, 2, 5, 1, all dominant chords, right? A little circle of fifths and a whole bunch of secondary dominant stuff going on. 5 of 5 of 5 of 1. If you work backwards, right? B7 is the 5 chord in the key of E. F sharp 7 is the 2. F sharp 7 is the 2 in E, but it's the 5 of B7. It's saying if B7 was the 1 chord, what would its 5 chord be? Oh, it would be F sharp. And then we're saying, oh, if F sharp was the 1 chord, what would its 5 chord be? C sharp 7. So you get this chain of chords that takes you all the way back, but starts off with the usual, for jazz, 2 minor chord. So again, 2 beats of F sharp, minor 7, 1 beat of B7, 1 beat of C sharp 7, 2 beats of F sharp 7, 2 beats of B7, and then we're home at what would be measure 11, at which point you could do whatever kind of turnaround it is you're going to do for the last couple of bars. So let's just go back and look at what those chord voicings are, what the chord shapes are. F sharp minor 7, here's the root, and then the flat 7, and the flat 3rd, all at the 2nd fret on the 6th, 4th, and 3rd string. And then B7, we're not going to worry about the pinky because we're just going to play the middle 4 strings, the root, the 3rd, the flat 7, and the root again. And then C sharp 7 looks just like a C7, but it's up 1 fret. So here's the root, C sharp, and then the 3rd, and then the flat 7, and then the root. And then F sharp 7, here's the root again, the flat 7, and this time the major 3rd to make it a dominant chord, an F sharp 7 or F sharp dominant 7 chord, and then B7, and then we're home. So I wasn't completely accurate about not using the pinky for the B7, because if we want to play licks on top of these chords, we are going to need to play the full B7. So you could do something like this, where you're playing the chords, but you're also pulling some little licks and blues moves out on top. So So if you just played the melody, or maybe, and it's cool because it's really just blues licks. If you think of it as being a combination of E minor and E major pentatonic, right? So here's like the major third, fifth, sixth, and root of E major pentatonic. And here's the 4, 5, flat 7, and root, and flat third of E minor pentatonic. Oh, I guess you might have the 9th here, or the 2nd. That's from the E major pentatonic scale. So we got all those notes. And it's just blues licks, but it sounds like more is going on when you put it over those chords. So here I'm just holding down the chord like this, and then the pinky and the index are getting that little move. And then including the open B as the melody note here. And then grabbing, here's the root of the C sharp, and that's like, it's working like the sharp 9 of the C sharp chord. So you're playing blues licks, but it sounds like you're playing some kind of fancy altered note, a sharp 9. And then again, here we're just gonna worry about the root and the third of the F sharp chord and put this blues note on top, which functions as flat 9 of the F sharp chord. So again, you're just playing a blues lick, but it sounds fancier. And then maybe we could go up to play the third and the bass of the F sharp chord. And here we're just playing some major pentatonic stuff. And then here, playing, again, blues stuff on top of the B7 chord, just playing the root and the 7th of B7. Adding that on top and back to E. So and we might drop the bass down to the 5th of B the second time we play it. So a little more up to speed. So one more time in context, if we're playing on blues in E from the beginning of the form, here's measure 3, measure 4, now we're coming up with measure 5, the A chord, here we go. That's how it fits into the form altogether. So that's the idea. It's always nice to have a stash of turnarounds you can draw from, and it's especially nice if you have something that breaks the mold of the usual 5-4-1, which this one definitely does. If you'd like to learn more fingerstyle moves, different kinds of bass lines, different ways to add improvised licks into your playing, and how to apply them to traditional steady bass blues tunes in keys like E and A, I encourage you to check out my membership, the Fingerstyle 5, which you can learn more about at the link below. In the meantime, if you've got a question about today's lesson, leave it for me down below. I would love to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.